HOA mayhem. She stole my backyard for a wedding. Then called the cops on me? Story. YouTube-style retelling. I hadn't even had my coffee yet when I realized my backyard had been hijacked. I'm talking full-on wedding. Rows of white chairs, string lights draped over my fence, a full DJ setup bumping romantic pop. And I was standing there barefoot in my pajamas, wondering if I'd accidentally stepped into a parallel universe. But nope, this was real. And it all started with my neighbor across the street, Melinda Barrett, or as the HOA likes to call her, Madam President. Earlier that morning, I woke up to the sound of clinking glasses and chairs scraping on concrete. I figured someone was having an early brunch, but when I looked out the back window, my heart stopped. They were in my yard, my fenced-in, clearly marked, private yard. I stormed outside, still wearing my robe. A guy adjusting the speaker said, "Oh, hey, you must be here for the Mitchell wedding. I'm DJ Byron. Melinda booked me." I blinked. "Booked you? This is my house." He looked around awkwardly. "She said this was HOA space. Shared land or something?" I marched to the side gate, and sure enough, the lock had been cut. That's when I saw Melinda, sipping rosé and smiling like she owned the place. "Oh, you're home," she said, like I was the intruder. "Don't worry, we'll clean everything up. You weren't using it anyway." What followed was one of the most surreal experiences of my life. I told her she had 10 minutes to clear out. She laughed and said, "You'll call the cops? I already did. You're ruining my niece's wedding." The cops showed up. And surprise, she tried to paint me as the aggressor. Fortunately, I had receipts. ID, property deed, broken padlock, and the pièce de résistance, security cam footage of Melinda cutting the lock and letting vendors in. The officer raised his eyebrows. "Did you get permission to use this property?" Melinda actually said, "Well, technically, it's all part of the community spirit. And frankly, he never mows it right." That was her logic. Even the bride, her own niece, asked to move the ceremony elsewhere. But Melinda refused. "This is your special day. We're not letting some cranky neighbor ruin it." No joke. She was destroying her own family's wedding out of pure ego. Eventually, the police told everyone to pack up. No charges, yet, but they strongly advised her to leave. Her husband finally stepped in and dragged her away. I thought that was the end. It wasn't. The next morning, I found a notice taped to my door. An HOA violation claiming I had illegally enclosed community event space. Guess who signed it? That's right. Melinda. She even attached a fake HOA document claiming my backyard was part of the green corridor. The fonts didn't match. Dates were wrong. It was clearly fake. So, I called my real estate lawyer, Brandon. He laughed when I said her name. "Oh, her. This is going to be fun." Brandon helped me gather proof. The developer's map, the HOA charter, the deed. My property was never part of shared land. Not even close. But Melinda wasn't done. She called an emergency HOA meeting and staged it like a public trial. She stood at the front of the room with a fake gavel and accused me of community obstruction. I stood up and said, "My yard is not yours to rent out, and if anyone steps foot on it again, we're going to court." The room went quiet. People started whispering. She tried handing out petitions and smear flyers, but the tide was turning. Still, she kept pushing. Fake permits, flyers announcing more weddings on my lawn. She even hired contractors to expand a community patio into my yard. I had to install more cameras, reinforced gates, and thorn bushes around the fence. She even tampered with my sprinklers. At one point, she told me, "You think you're above the community, but the HOA always wins." That was the line that stuck with me, because this wasn't about weddings anymore. This was about control. Then came the second wedding attempt. A different niece this time. Same setup, same illegal invasion. And this time, I caught her nephew trying to cut my lock. I called the police again, this time with full video evidence and prior documentation. The cops didn't hesitate. They escorted her away mid-ceremony in front of all the guests. People gasped. The bride cried. The DJ just quietly unplugged his gear. You'd think that would be enough. Nope. The HOA doubled down, citing me for disruptive behavior. I was done being polite. Brandon and I filed a full lawsuit for trespassing, property damage, harassment, and defamation. And guess what? It worked. We subpoenaed everything. Emails, meeting notes, camera footage. The HOA board cracked. Melinda's smear campaign collapsed. She was forced to resign, pay damages, and issue a formal apology to every resident. And then she moved. No goodbye, no public statement, just gone. But here's the part that really stuck with me. And I want to ask you, the viewer, was Melinda just passionate about her community? Or was she flat out delusional? And where do we draw the line between protecting a neighborhood and abusing power to bully someone who just wants privacy? Let me know what you think in the comments. Was I right to fight back? Or should I have just let her use the yard that one time? Hit that like button if you've ever had a neighbor nightmare. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that make you question where community ends and personal rights begin.